Paula Pant, the host of the Afford Anything podcast, likes to answer questions her listeners send in. This is a special episode where she also has Joe Saul-Sehy from the Stacking Benjamins show join in the fun.
Hi, Paula. I am a stay-at-home mom in Southern California who shall remain anonymous. And my question is about inheritance. My husband and I receive yearly gift money from his parents, plus occasional larger chunks that they distribute from the family partnership. We used to spend most of it on just stuff, #lifestyle inflation. Then we got smarter and used it to pay off all of our debts. And now that we're debt-free, we're dumping it all into index funds with the hope of retiring early. This inheritance money is fast-tracking us toward financial independence very quickly. I think we're just a few years away from our goal. But it's also a source of some guilt and shame for me, whose role models are self-made millionaires like you and Mr. Money Mustache, even my husband's parents who worked their way out of poverty and built a large estate that they're now passing on to us. And so I kind of feel like I'm cheating somehow, like maybe I don't deserve financial independence. Do you have any advice or pep talks for those who receive inheritances or undeserved windfalls? How can we work past the guilt and use the money wisely? Do you have any other general advice about inheritance to share with us? I feel like this subject is kind of taboo, so I hope it's not making you uncomfortable. But anyway, I appreciate any wisdom that you might have. Thank you so much, Paula.
Well, the first thing that I would say is congratulations for handling your inheritance wisely. There are a million things that you could be choosing to do with that. You could be spending that on champagne and caviar, but you're choosing to steward over this money in a way that will allow it to sustain you and sustain your family for indefinitely, for decades into the future. So you're allowing yourself and your family, and you said you're a stay-at-home mom, so you have a child and or children. So you're allowing, you and your kid/kids to be able to have two stay-at-home parents as a result of the way that you are handling this inheritance. And there's a lot to be said for that, because a lot of people would just blow the money on hot tubs and hot air balloon rides and hot wings and hot pockets and hot pink glue guns and other things that begin with the word hot. Hot pants? Is that a thing?
Yeah, I'm wearing hot pants right now.
What are hot pants?
Aren't they like really tight pants?
Is that what I thought those were skinny jeans.
Well, I think for some people they're skinny jeans, and for other people, the cougars out there. I don't even know where this podcast is going.
Okay, I'm Googling this right now. Google, what are hot pants?
And she's wondering, anonymous woman right now is wondering, how do we get from my serious question to hot pants?
Tight, brief women's shorts worn as a fashion garment.
There you go. Like I said, I have on tight women's shorts right now. Perfect. Yeah. My thought, Paula, was that, and I totally agree with everything that you said, is that guilt is not uncommon. It's funny because having been someone who was in the trenches, you would see that guilt. And man, is it tough, because I agree. You don't think, hey, I didn't earn this money. There's other people working their butt off and I just had it handed to me. But I think that what you have to do is respect it more than. The fact that it seems to weigh on her so heavily that she didn't earn this money means that those dollars, don't get me wrong, you should respect every dollar, but respect the fact that you've had this opportunity that a lot of people don't get, which she's totally already doing just by the question, right? But respect the fact that you have this opportunity and make the most of it. The thing that frustrated me is the same thing that frustrated her at the start of her question is, they used to spend it on just things. They'd spend it on stuff, and next thing you know, it's gone. So I would live my life, my normal life, as if that money didn't exist. And then I would take that money and use it in a way to make things a little easier in the future, or maybe make things a little easier now, but not in terms of budget or going out to eat every day. Maybe it's upgrading, the property that they live in, or if they want to invest in properties, to use it to buy properties or to expand their investment portfolio so that they can They can, if they want to decide to stop working, they can do that earlier. But I would use it in that much more positive way. Mm-hmm. Clearly, it was a legacy. And this is a frustrating thing for me, not to get on my soapbox, but you see these people, and I had clients that were like this. They would work their entire life, save a bundle of money. They'd hand it to their kids. They wouldn't hand it to their kids. They'd pass away, right? Their kids get the money, and the kids didn't earn it, so they blow it. And this is an opportunity to make it a legacy, to keep it in the family and make it easier for everyone. But I think it also has to come with, some education of kids, and it also has to come with some responsibility.
Right, exactly. Like there's an old saying that wealth lasts for 3 generations. The first one builds it, the second preserves it, the third squanders it, and then it starts over again. That cycle starts over again at the 4th. And that's not literally true. I mean, it's not, every 3 generations, but that saying reflects the cycle of the way that money tends to exist in some families.
It was always amazing to me. You would have a family where either mom or dad was an entrepreneur or did something where they made a lot of money. Mm-hmm. In a lot of these cases, and you see this on TV, right? If you ever watch reality television, I know you don't, Paula, so you have no idea what I'm about to say. But the rest of the family is enjoying it. They're partying while the person that made it is excited about making the money, is excited about the fact that they built this wealth. And that also makes me feel bad. Mm-hmm. That has nothing to do with their question, but you'd see that quite often.
I mean, I think it does have something to do with her question. I think it goes back to that. Like, her question was emotionally, how does she deal with the fact that she is receiving unearned money or she's benefiting from unearned money? And I think not partying with it, i.e. treating it really wisely and stewarding it and treating it well is the way to deal with that. And so, again, Anonymous, the fact that you're putting it in index funds where the principal will be preserved and you'll be living just on a small portion of it. And that small portion of it that you're living on will be enough to grant you financial independence so that you and your husband can spend loads of time, quality time with your kids. Like, that's amazing. That's exactly the responsible way to handle an inheritance. And I can't think of any better use of legacy money than that.
Right.
Because that's the thing about financial independence, right? Like the independence itself, the freedom itself is actually just a symptom of the fact that the money has been planted in a sustainable way. So here's what I mean by that. Like, when you're trading time, not you, but when a person is trading time for money, that exchange is unsustainable. And so in order to go from unsustainable to sustainable, that money needs to be taken out of the context of time and put into a context of capital working to grow more capital. Because that's the sustainable route of money creation. Once you've developed that sustainability, the financial independence that results, the early retirement that results, is a symptom. It's a side effect of the fact that your money has been planted in that way. I don't know if planted is the right word.
I think it's a great word.
Yeah, like that 4% withdrawal that you make from the index funds, that's the harvest that you get from this incredibly rich soil of planted money. And that's the true legacy. It's that sustainable. I just keep repeating myself. I'm just going to say the word sustainable like 57 more times. Sustainable hot pants.
Just sustainable hot wings.
Ooh, sustainable hot pockets.
Imagine that if you could have a sustainable hot pocket. It goes on and on forever. That'd be kind of gross,
terrible.
wouldn't it?
Is it the kind of hot pocket that's cold on the inside or the kind of hot pocket that's like super scalding on the inside and burns your tongue?
See, now we're totally doing Jim Gaffigan jokes. Yeah, right. Hot pocket. Yeah, I really like what you're saying. You know, who puts this really well is Robert Kiyosaki in Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And there's some of Robert Kiyosaki where I go, what? I don't know about that. But I love the main message, and it's that your money gets taxed so much lighter than you do. You know, when you earn an income, whether you're self-employed or not, but especially if you work for the man, you're paying all these taxes, the opportunity for write-offs that entrepreneurs have, and your money is just very, very heavily taken away. But your investments have this single tax, either if you have it in a tax shelter, maybe only paying tax before you put it in, like a Roth IRA, or when you take it out, like a 401k or a traditional IRA. But even in a non-IRA account, you're just going to pay tax, much smaller tax on dividends and on, capital gains when you sell it. So it's really attractive to build this. His analogy is you build this other person and you go to work every day, but so does your money. And your money has this lunch pail like you do and goes off to work. And while you're working, your money's also working. And if you get to the point that guy's working hard enough that you don't have to work anymore, well, then you decide whether you're working because you like it or you stop. I love that analogy. And it works for me I won't say every day, but most days I wake up and I just think about me and my money going to work again today.
Yeah. You know what? Will and I actually use that analogy. I didn't realize that I've read Robert Kiyosaki, but I didn't realize that it came from him. It got planted again. Maybe it got planted in my mind from that book and I forgot who the source was. But I remember years ago, when we started building passive income, we began mentally conceptualizing ourselves as having a third person in the household who brought in money, but who didn't have any expenses. And so then mentally we were like, wow, we're a 3-income household with only 2 mouths to feed.
Yeah.
So
good stuff. Good question.
That totally went off the rails of her question a little bit by the end. But yeah, the TLDR of it is, it's not the past, it's the present. It's not where it came from, it's what you're doing with it now.
Yeah, and that's the respect that I talked about, Paula.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, did you enjoy this excerpt from the Afford Anything podcast? Then click to download our free ebook, Escape. You'll be taken to a page where you can enter your email for immediate access to everything you need to know about escaping the 9-to-5 grind to live life on your terms. And you can also subscribe with one simple click to get alerted when new videos are uploaded.